Welcome back to another RFP Rapid Fire podcast. I'm here in New York City. I got Gerard McCabe and Jerry Keogh, who are also in this great city. And I'm actually a couple blocks from the New York Public Library. And for those that, don't know this, that's where, of course, my company Thinkland started. It's a great resource, a great public resource, free resources for individuals, for entrepreneurs, of course, and for people that are looking to start their own business. And, we really want to discuss the incredible value there is right now and incredible opportunity to, start your own business, start your own startup, um, and how we're developing not only platforms and tools, but academies as well to help connect you to the right information and to the right strategic partnerships, help make it easier for those individuals out there and for those small firms and companies to, be able to scale, be able to start their business and get out there in the marketplace. So I had a great conversation this week with Gerard McCabe. We're able to have a great interview. We're going to post that up on YouTube. So we'll send you that link for people that are following when it's up. But Gerard, it was a great time talking to you about our upcoming to where we are now and how it all started in New York and all started taking advantage of the resources and the opportunities at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a fun time reminiscing, and I started back in 1980. I spent a lot of time in the public library, getting my career started, and it is a remarkable resource. And it's funny because we went back in and we did have some interviews inside the library. Of course, we see it as a place where you could start your startup and have all these resources. And more than half the people that were there were probably tourists, right? Because the
Yeah,
building's a beautiful, it's
right.
a beautiful building, um, and they were just walking around like like tourists do. And then the people that were there for business or for to use the resources stood out like a sore thumb. But they were there, they're there, and nothing much
Yeah, yeah.
has changed. It's still that gem of a resource right there in Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah, it was great to see that. It was definitely busier than I remember, which is, it's a good thing. Of course, it's an
Yeah,
incredible place for people to visit all over the world. But yeah, you still have that, of course, that access to information, of course, that access to support, that access to information. And right now, I think with AI, this has never been not only one of the best opportunities for a startup to, take an idea from concept generation and actually, execute on a product and bring it to market. But I think right now, for individuals that are feeling, all the tensions that come with AI, all the disruption that comes with AI, um, you know, it's a place and it's an opportunity for them to take more control in their life and to build something that I think even if it's a side hustle, even if it's like after your classes at school, or even if it's after your 9 to 5, it's something to work on to maybe instead of feeling the issues that come with AI, to actually take advantage of that and build your own business.
yeah, and that's what Thinkland's there for. Thinkland, a company run by Mac, it's a tremendous company. For those that have the urge to jump in and to start their startup, but they're not too sure exactly how to do it. They're a little concerned about falling flat in their face. You get in touch with Mac, and he'll put you on the right path and provide the right alliances and resources and structure, and you'll be on your way. Just you have to take that leap of faith.
And not only will we get you with the right, whether it's a sponsor or a mentorship or, the right strategic partner, but, we're on the call here, of course, with two people that are writing, their books currently right now, that we're about to launch. We have this new platform. We're going to get that information out to you guys all that are listening to this podcast too. But that platform's going to be publishing your book, Gerard, and Jerry, and we're going to start previewing all this incredible value that I think is just so important for founders and operators to know, because you guys have been through it, you've done it, you have the experience, and I think that's what a big reason why we wanted to build out this platform for people to whether it's read books or read articles, watch our content, but it's going to get people that again that value there to like go start their startup. So Jerry, I want to bring you in here because we're talking about this platform, and it's going to be a great preview, I think, into TIL Academy itself. Because of course, a lot of the authors there are going to be working at TIL Academy. Just talk about, of course, this new opportunity, this new product, and how we're really taking advantage of AI to help express and bring that value, and make it more accessible for readers and followers online.
So it was really a great experience for me last Friday to be with you guys when you were shooting live on the streets of New York City. And what I found sort of inspirational was this time of the year we did a podcast that you filmed where I was speaking with Gerard, and we saying this time of the year we're feeling out who's going to be our interns. And we have a very unique intern program in that we don't just take anybody. We take somebody who's got a work ethic, who's willing to learn. And there's going to be some mess ups. That's what happens with young interns. But as the clock ticks on, we decided this year to do something a little different. Instead of doing that one-on-one, because there is a lot of people out there who are really qualified for this mentoring program. This is where you guys, your team came up, and you started this process because you were in the KLG incubator. You attended some boot camps and said, hey, you guys should take this life experience that you have, this entrepreneurial experience that you have for, between Gerard and I, it's almost 100 years, right? A few years shy of that. And then let's talk about our two friends from Pune who couldn't attend this meeting this week. That we have this Author's Corner, which is part of the Thinkland Publishing House. Now, think about it, ladies and gentlemen out there in MGSN land. If you look right over Mac's shoulder, there's the New York Public Library. Do you know, to this very day, I still use it, even though I have offices galore, because when I'm writing my book, I really want the inspiration of the vibe of somebody who is pursuing with all the vim and vigor, the people that we did see in the library. Yes, the tourists were there. It's a beautiful library. That's like a gem. But you know what? What I did last Friday was I went over to Kips Bay to the public library there, which looks like a grade school public library. It's small. Kips Bay, for those of you who don't live in the Apple, is on the east side of Manhattan. And it's below 34th Street, and it's right there on 3rd Avenue. So you're not going to miss it. And I just wrote my book because we got because of the editing, the very unique editing component of the Thinkland Publishing House. It's a collegial editing, and it's very unique. There's no like professional editors where you have that hostile relationship. We do bang heads. We banged heads, and thank God that we've got the right people on here because they challenge us, who are writing. And sometimes when you're writing, you get so caught up in what you're trying to say. Say, wait a minute, that might not be true. We had which the viewers will see through the RFPs. You're going to see in the wrap up of the Author's Corner the crucial discussion about utilizing generated pictorials, prompt engineering, and how that's getting resolved. And we did come to a good academic exchange where we studied, we looked at the law, we looked at the emerging laws, we looked at laws from varied jurisdictions because of the worldwide effect of AI. But I thought what was very inspiring was when you came up with this concept. We put it in Concept Gen, put it aside, and then this TIL Academy, which much is going to be coming to the marketplace in October and November during the Thinkland demos, and the first time it's in the USA. And we're going to have a lot more to say on this on individual podcasts. Now, the podcast that I'm making reference to, we discussed that, hey, you know what? Instead of doing the mentoring on this real intense mentoring program with just one person as the beneficiary. Why don't we utilize the TIL Academy so that we can then utilize the technology that Thinkland has to conduct that to a broader audience? And that we're really looking forward to. We're really looking forward to taking our years of experience, the ups and the downs. There's a lot of downs. And sometimes the ups look like they're far and few between, but resilience, teaching resilience, you're not born with it. It's a lesson. And confidence. And you know what comes from confidence? If you look right over Mac's shoulder, it's knowledge. Knowledge is the backbone of confidence. You say, well, I don't have the confidence you have. I said, well, of course not, because you don't have the knowledge. But that's what we're going to sort of give you, because once you get that knowledge, you're going to get the confidence, because you're going to realize that some people who've been, and Gerard, we've talked about this. We're trial horses. We work like dogs on trials. We work on Saturdays. And we can tell that somebody who's from a big firm, how many times we beat these big firms, they just don't have the same knowledge we have because they don't have to, but we do. And knowledge gives the confidence. You say, well, how are you guys confident? You said, well, you guys were born in New York City. You had to fight for every nickel and dime you got. Yeah, I'm not saying that what didn't help, but really, it really had. It's that library. It's that source of knowledge. And
Yep.
you know, the beauty of it is no matter what country you're in, there's these public libraries and they got resources. And that's where you want to sort of start it out. So that was my sort of takeaway, Mac, with respect to your magnificent position that you're in today. And it started right there, right over his shoulder. When it was just
Yep.
Mac and a hot dog. Maybe you couldn't even afford the hot dogs back then. Who knows? And look where he is now. You know, he's got a magnificent digital developing company. He's got great clients. He's got this. He's coming out with products all the time. What you folks are going to want to see is he's going to be publishing these micro books. One, he's going to be actually the author on the AI, and the micro books are going to be. He created a nom de plume, which many lawyers and entrepreneurs will be writing under. I have an invitation. Gerard's got an invitation. You know, we'll wait until that's actually called in. But you're going to see much of that education I talked about. That's going to be in these books, free books. You know, which they're micro books. So you're not going to, you know, but it's going to whet your appetite. It's going to say, you know what, I'm going to try to learn how to be confident. I'm going to try to learn how to be resilient. I'm going to try to learn how do I take my employment in my own hands and not worry about some mid-management guy who's got to not crunch out numbers and lose his sight over your talent.
Yeah, it's
You
about
nailed it. You nailed it.
intestinal fortitude. You have to want it. You know, this is not something. You know, we have all this information that's available to anyone that wants to use it, but you got to have the desire and you got to have that will to succeed and to really thirst for energy, for a knowledge. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to go anywhere. So you got to be willing to work the Saturday. You got to be willing to put the hard work in. And if you do that, the resources are there for you.
Yeah, like you guys said, I mean, knowledge is the biggest value. It's the great equalizer. It's the great democratizer. It's the thing that is, you know, right down the street from me, the library, the access to resources. And I think for us, that's the big reason why we wanted to create this academy, is that it's a connector to that information that, you know, goes beyond even maybe the book. It comes from that experience that you guys have, you know, you've done, you've lived, you've founded, you've operated, you've failed. And we talk about that resilience. And I think, you know, one of the biggest values when it comes to knowledge for founders, for operators, is of course law. And you know, not they every unless you went to law school, not a lot of people know how, you know, how to navigate a lot of the things that you need to navigate when you're founding a company, especially with AI. And we have a whole, whether it's you, Gerard, and Jerry, and our whole team in India, we have an incredible academy filled of lawyers that are going to help, you know, help you navigate that very, very difficult to navigate marketplace right now, especially with AI. And I think that's a huge value because, I mean, when we talk about expenses for a startup, I mean, lawyers are a huge part of that. And so, I mean, that value alone is incredible. And you want to surround yourself, of course, like we're saying, with people that have extensive knowledge on this topic, and of course have done it before. And we're not going to just, of course, we're going to teach you the facts and the theory of things. But we're actually going to teach you how to execute that in everyday life, the actual practicality of it. And I think that's a massive value for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think our biggest asset to our client base is that we proactively try to keep them out of trouble. So, because once you're in trouble and once you're involved in litigation or whatever it might be, boy, does it become extremely expensive, puts companies out of business. But if you make a small investment and you hire the right attorneys and they know how to navigate your marketplace, whatever that space may be, and the whole idea is to, this guy's telling me where the pothole is, so you're going to avoid it, so you can kind of continue on without having to deal with something traumatic like a litigation or some sort of government. Like government they have OSHA. There's all kind of government agencies that are out there waiting for you to make a mistake, and they're going to make you pay for it. If you know what those potholes are, you can avoid all that, and it's a smoother ride to taking your company to another level.
And like the audience knows, a lot of the audience watching this probably is entrepreneur, solopreneur, or someone that's interested in these topics. I mean, it takes, when Jerry was talking about my story, and I was talking about my story with you, Gerard, at our interview the other day, is that, you might call yourself a solopreneur, but you can't do it yourself. You need to strategically partner yourself. We talk about
Absolutely.
strategically partner yourself all the time, but it's like it's so key to everything you're doing because you can't do it by yourself. There's absolutely no way. So whether that's, we've talked about this before, the Global Capability Center, the LPO, strategic partnerships, global partnerships, getting that right team. I think for people that are really interested in this, of course, you can go to thinkland.com, reach out to my team. But of course, I think the how we're really trying to package this right now with TIL Academy, and then of course the platform for the ebooks. I think it's going to be so fun because the people out there that are interested in all these things, they're going to be able to read it in a new form that is more modernized for today. And of course, get try to get through all of that fluff and get right to the direct to the value. So I think that the coolest thing about the internet these days is that you can really cut through it if you want to and create a really valuable product. And right now when you have so much crap out in the world, I mean, really being able to sift through that and actually get real value that's direct and
Absolutely.
clear and practical is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
All right, my friends. Thanks again for coming on for the time this morning. This has been a great week in New York. I'm really excited about obviously launching all these different platforms and products. But again, the events that are coming up in Charlotte, in New York, in Boston. This is going to be a great demo 26. Go to thinkland.events because not only are we all going to be talking there, we're going to be launching TIL Academy. We're going to be talking about all of these books that be able to go into deep and really unpack all the value there that you guys have written. So very excited about that. So again, go to thinkland.events. Boston's booked up, but there's open seats in Charlotte and New York still. So please go, sign up on the wait list, and my team will get back to you.
Good job.
And as always, guys, thank you, and go start your startup.